Order 404. Mr. Jarvis, could you do our invocations?
Sir. Father in heaven, we thank you for this day. We thank you for your love and your watch care. We ask now that you would guide us in this meeting, be especially with all the staff and be especially with our council as they make decisions. May it be pleasing to thee. Forgive us of our sins. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Chili, could you do a roll call?
Yes, sir. Dick Lake.
Here.
Harley Buzzard.
Here.
Buell England.
Honey.
Keith Austin.
Here.
Jack Baker.
Here.
Joe Bird.
Honey.
Sean Crittenden.
Honey.
Don Garvin.
Honey.
Becky Hargis.
Present.
Wanda Hatfield. Rex Jordan.
Here.
Curtis Snell.
Here.
Denise Taylor. Here. David Thornton.
Honey.
Victoria Vesquez. David Walkenstick.
Honey.
Ryan Warner.
Honey.
Go for 'em.
Thank you. I'd like to ask for approval of minutes.
Make a motion to be approved.
Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Minutes approved. Reports, Marshall Lamb.
Good afternoon, Council.
Hello.
I just have really a couple of things. Don't put this in blood or anything, but our Warrior flight, we have it tentatively scheduled for September 17th through the 20th. And last year, I say tentatively right now because last year we had it scheduled the week before and the Pope heard we were coming and, so we had to change it, but anyway, we're just waiting to see if there's anything else coming down. And so, anyway, those of you who would like to go, that's the date.
What was the date? I'm sorry.
17th through the 20th.
Yeah. Our LIHEAP blankets are on order and they should be arriving soon. And that's really all I have, if you have any questions.
Any questions? Harley?
I guess, yes, it is a question, but I'm also going to ask Water and Sanitation the same question. I get calls from people, Marcia, that go up and apply for services through Human Services. But not so much your department, it would be community service. But anyway, I'm going to tell you what I was thinking. These are older people, and they have to fill out a completely new application.
Do they have one?
Let's say they had applied 6 months ago or a year ago, and these are older folks, and I don't know in your case, but they said, well, why can't we just update them like they do at our Cherokee Nation Health Clinics? I said, well, I don't know.
What we normally do is, we have probably about 5 emergency programs that we can tap,
Yeah.
And so if someone is eligible for more than one when they come in, we just make copies of it. 6 months from now, if someone is drawing unemployment or something like that, it may change, or even we take the last 6 months usually on most programs. I can look and see what the feasibility is. Is it just the water we're talking about or anything?
Mostly water and then housing stuff. And I just wanted to bring it up to your attention, your department, to see if you can eliminate that and just, if we could do something like our health department do. When they go in, they just ask for updates and stuff like that. Instead of having to bring in a deed in or stuff like that. And I know housing and then water and sanitation, they do that. And so they were asking that. But anyway, I just wanted to bring to see if there's anything you could do here.
That's probably feasible as long as they haven't changed addresses, new utility company and all that.
Thanks, sir.
Wanda, did you have a question?
Yes, sir. I did this, sorry. Could you explain Cherokee Parents to me? And what's this program? I'm forgetting for that name.
In a nutshell, it's for new parents, basically. This is the only program we really have that they go into their home. They evaluate their home, They show them how to, well, you know, new babies, they don't come with instructions, so they just basically show them the basic needs of that. And it's a home visiting program, but for short, it's the Cherokee Parents. And that's basically what it is. It's just a in their home service that we provide.
For all counties.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Chair.
You're welcome. Anyone else?
We appreciate you, Marcia.
Thank you. Michael, are you Mr. Qualls today?
Again, look like it.
Not claiming to be Mr. Qualls, but I'm sitting in for him. He is out with the flu, and so he will be back hopefully later in the week. But he's kind of had a rough go here lately with medical issues. You should have a copy of his report, and I'll be glad to field any questions. And if I can't answer them, we'll get you an answer.
John, Chris? Yes, sir.
Can I ask him road questions, or you want to wait?
No, let's wait for Ron.
All right. Thank you, Chair.
We'll get bogged down if we do road questions. Harley?
Water question.
Yeah.
Say water.
Hell, we've got the waterman here.
I just want to ask about the funding from Indian Health Service. Have we got any latest news? 'Cause
Last year, Harley, it was February 25th when we got the funding letter. So we're actually, Billy and myself are going to Oklahoma City tomorrow to meet with some of the officials at the area office. So we're hoping, fingers crossed, it'll be this week.
if you get an answer, would you mind emailing me? 'Cause
Not at
I've
all.
got some people that's wanting to need some water, and I know tribal funds is available, but the policy on it, I know there's an income guideline on tribal funds for water and sewer.
Yes, sir.
At some point in time, I guess the other question would be, can you reimburse Indian Health Service from tribal funds? Or can you do that, or is it commingling funds?
We've looked at it as commingling funds. So
What I'm
it's-
getting at is, why couldn't we do some of these jobs with tribal funds and then reimburse the tribal funds with the IHS money when it comes in? If you could take a look at that
could
and
look at
see,
that.
we could certainly do some things that are really, really in need. Now, I know I've been in the same situation as you, because everybody's applied for water, they don't have water, then you get a person that has water and it went to bad. Well, the people that applied are in the same boat as the person that had water, so where you draw the line. So I understand the situation that you're in, so. Anyway, it's something to think about. If you can look at a reimbursement issue, I don't
Certainly.
think you can, but look at it anyway.
We
Okay,
will-
thank
we
you, sir.
Yes, sir. Go
Just a
ahead.
quick follow-up. I know it's two different monies, the HOSTA and IHS, right?
Right.
But that's similar to the pot of money that we use for the rehab when that don't fly. My understanding is we can help someone and they do qualify, there may be some reimbursement that way. So sure enough, it may be something to look at. Thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Watkins.
Did you say that the NAHASDA and IHS fell February 25th last year?
We received our Indian Health Service scattered housing funding letter February 25th of last year.
What about the NAHASDA?
I have no idea, Counselor.
Because I got some people that need some water as well, some new construction places. They don't know, because they got to close with their bank with the loan, and they got to figure out, the bank's not going to close on it until the water and everything's hooked up to the house, so we need to have some type of a timeline of when that might happen. And that is a good question from Councilman Buzzard about if it can be reimbursed from federal dollars. So we'll just keep us posted on that. I
Sure.
think that's a good question.
Certainly.
Thank you, Chair.
Chair, I had to follow up. And it's just another question and I'll ask Gary Cooper when he comes up about updating chart information. This is from an elderly person that, and it will have some more to do with the housing, but I don't know what you require. Say, they put a system in and it was 10 months later, the sewer messed up. Of course, it's still under warranty at that time, it says 2 years later. Are we requiring them to go back and bring their income in and bring their deeds in?
Just an updated, if they haven't moved residence, Counselor, we just updated income.
Okay, that's good to hear, because I think this is going to be more geared toward Gary Cooper. Okay, well, that's fine. Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Cooper?
So good afternoon. Good afternoon. I know you have our report. I know that several of y'all had some questions, and I think visited with those who specifically asked, hey, come see me before the meeting, so if I miss someone, I can visit with you afterwards. Also, I wanted to mention that, you've heard me talk over the years about NAHASA reauthorization. It's something that has been, we've been trying to get done since 2013. That's when the current authorization ran out. We have been working with, along with our national organization and other organizations, on trying to get something done. We're looking at a kind of a brand-new approach for this year, something, instead of going with the same thing that hadn't worked in the past, look at kind of a two-pronged approach. So it looks like right now that's looking pretty good. So I hope that maybe in the next month or 2 months I might have some good news to report on that. At least, trying to get the program reauthorized for at least another 5 years, and then worry about other reforms later on this year and into the current Congress. But what we're really worried about is the authorization for funding. So other than that, I think that is all I've got. Be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Go ahead.
You want me to go ahead and answer your question there?
Third time, Gary.
Here, I can go. I think I can go ahead and answer your question for
Okay,
you.
okay.
If it is NAHASTA-related funding, NAHASTA requires that anything related to income or any other types of verifications that we have to have cannot be any more than 120 days old. So we do ask for another application because it does have that information on there, but all non-specific verifications, if the file is fairly current, we can pull like warranty deed, so copies of Social Security cards, tribal membership cards, those kinds of things, we will pull from their old file.
Okay.
It's just those, it would be anything related to income or anything that would have to have current types of verifications with.
Okay, and that sounds better,
Yeah.
because I think they were under the impression they were going to have to make copies of their warranty deeds,
No,
or maybe bring an abstract in, or...
no, and we usually, well, especially now since rehab got over there, if it's anything that's happened within the last year, for sure, we have pretty ready access to that. We can find it pretty easy. One of the other things that we do is our new applications system. Also, a lot of that information is already scanned in there, so we can just print it off.
Okay, well, that was a big concern, and
Yeah.
this is an elderly lady that called me and said, I had to pull all this stuff out for a hot water heater.
Yeah.
She said, they already have all that stuff. And I said, well, I'll bring it up to see if we...
Yeah, and a lot of times too, if they will let us know that, hey, I just had work done 2 years ago or whatever, that will make it easier too, because a lot of times we can have someone go pull that file. It'll be in storage, but we can pull it.
We pass it on to your staff, the
I will.
frontline people.
Sure.
Because they're probably just asking for it.
Yeah, because it's on the list of stuff that, we do have to
Yeah,
have.
and I'm sure they're just saying you need this,
Yeah.
this, and this.
Yeah.
The other thing, I was going to ask you a question about the negotiated rulemaking committee.
Yeah.
Are you going to be involved with that again, or?
Well, this negotiated rulemaking is over, completed
Okay.
and done with. They would be required to form another negotiated rule. There's two sides. There's the funding formula side and then everything else side. So the everything else side should, if whenever reauthorization is done,
Yeah.
they should be forming a negotiated rulemaking panel then, and they would be asking for nominations.
And one last question on the negotiated rulemaking committee. How do you do your population count for tribes,
We use ACS data.
ACS data? What about the data that's at the Bureau of Indian Affairs? Do you use that at all?
It can be used for certain things, like if a tribe or someone wants to challenge
Okay.
that data on ACS, there are certain things that they can use for a challenge, and included in that is that. The one problem with that, especially with like the BIA data, especially like BIA labor reports and some of the other things, it's not current. They don't even collect that anymore.
That's what I was going to ask about the labor force.
Yeah, no, that was one of the things that we looked at in this negotiated rulemaking. I mean, we looked at, I think, the original list was probably somewhere between 30 and 50 different things. We narrowed it down to somewhere between 12 and 24, and then we prepared a report. And if you want some really good information on good, bad, and ugly on those types of things, what's updated, what's current, what's not, I can get that for you.
That's all right. I know I know before Nahaza used the labor force report.
Yeah, about the only thing that we could find that was fair, accurate, checked the same all over the country was census data, the ACS. They don't even do this long form anymore, so we have to use the American Community
And I know
Survey.
that's important, that's where your money comes from on those reports.
It is.
Thank you, sir.
Sean Cruz.
Gary had a call this morning. They were describing Highway 100 West, and anyway, it turned out I knew the new construction house. But this gentleman says when the construction company had cut the phone lines, and he talked to the construction company, and they were really nice. But anyway, the phone company has ran a temporary one and this is an 80-year-old. He said almost full blood, sickly. Ran a temporary one and staticky, just laying out there.
If you'll give me the name after, I don't want it over the streaming video, but if you'll give me the name in private, I'll stick around afterwards and get the name
Name of the
from you.
house.
The name of the family.
That
The name of the family that you're asking about.
right.
I'll go back and find out what's going on, and we'll see if we can get to the bottom of it.
Okay, he said he's talked to quite a few people, and but it's
I'm not familiar with it. First I've heard of it, but if you'll give me the information, I'll certainly look into it.
it's I don't care to say it. It's St. Pierre house. It's my brother-in-law's boy. It's whose
Okay.
house it is. But the neighbor, they said it's running right through the Darris is his name, the guy who's getting the new house. It's running right through his yard, and it's affected, I think, more than this gentleman, but I'll get you his name. The guy that called me, the elder.
But yeah, that's not going to help me. The name that you gave me, I generally don't like individual information over in an
Oh, he
open
don't
meeting.
care. He's
But,
hard-headed like me.
I will look that up and see what I can find out.
And also, Gary, we talked on email about the Bolin family.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'd really like to do, Kanan, if you're okay with it, I'd love to. It's been a long time. I don't know the exact time frame, but I would love to sit down with you and Chief and maybe Joel and this family. I mean, they're really nice folks, as I'm sure you'll attest to, but just a good old-fashioned now, because you're hearing different things from different departments, and and she's just lost. She's just lost. So I think a good old sit down with us at your convenience, preferably after school sometime. But I would make an effort to be there too. But just now, ma'am, here's where we're at. It's been this long, and try to push that forward, because she's saying it's 5 years, but
We haven't even had the new construction program for 5 years, but
Right,
I'm not
right.
I'm not going to comment on an individual's situation.
you're not opposed to
Meeting.
setting that up? Meeting
I'm
with-
not opposed to anything, but I won't discuss an individual's.
Shannon, will you set that up?
Sean, I think what Gary's getting to is the family name we probably should not mention.
Oh, I'm sorry, Chair.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But yeah, if you don't mind that, Canaan and Jenny Muskrat, Canaan, while we're talking about this. Oh, I just named another one, didn't I? Hello. Well, yeah. Yeah, hello. But I'm trying to help this lady. I'm sure she'll excuse me. But you kind of got that, didn't you? The name. So I need to get you her number. I was wanting to get some of that money. Sally is a little bit over income working at Walmart and really hurting. And her heating and air. She's got a diabetic elder brother, and I'd like to look at using some of that if we can. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Man, I told you I was gonna get kicked out someday.
I think, Frankie, you're
Gary, I just wanted to know, do we send out a survey to the new construction families? I've been asked if we couldn't do that. Just asking about the contractor and about the condition of their new home. I've had a couple complaints on a couple different ones that we've discussed offline.
Yeah, we can, because we also, for all of our homes, they come with a 1-year builder's warranty, so we do go back out within that first year or two to follow up. But yeah, we can look at doing that.
I think it'd be good.
Kinda
if
a
we would
quality
send them a
survey.
Survey maybe at, 3 or 6 months after
Yeah.
they've been in the home
Yeah.
a few months, and that will even give us some information on our contractors to see, if there's some changes we need to make.
Sure. Good idea. Thank you for that.
anyone else? Thank you, Gary.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it. Mr. Lynn?
Right, yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just quickly go over some things that's happened since last meeting. The 17th of January, we attended a Oklahoma Tribal Transportation Council and Oklahoma Tribal Advisory Board meeting in Oklahoma City. On the 18th of January, we held a ribbon cutting up on the J. Kenwood Road on the portion that we just completed there, along with the 4 bridges that were built along that same stretch. 24th of January, we held what we call plan in hand meeting on the Dwight Mission Road project in Sequoia County. Plans on that section. There's Dwight Mission, real quick, is kind of in two different projects. We've got a section north of 40, and then we've got a section south of 40. This particular meeting was on the portion south of I-40, and we're looking at an overlay through that section, and it should be happening relatively soon. We're looking forward to getting it going, and the plans are being developed in the final stage of being developed on that. February 2nd, we held a utility meeting on the Lost City Road project that runs north and south between Hulbert and the Lost City area. And then on February 6th and 7th, we went to what's called a rollout meeting on 25 CFR Part 170. It's a new federal regs that came out, and the meeting was held by the Bureau of Indian Affairs and Federal Highway Administration on how they interpret the guidelines and how they will be implemented. That was held in Oklahoma City. 13th of February, we attended a Ross Street project meeting here in Tahlequah. It was kind of a logistics and planning meeting for the new Hastings expansion, and how our road or street project in this case will coincide with that construction. And so we're in the beginning phases of the coordination efforts. We have been in the design phase on that project for a little while, and we'll soon be moving into the right-of-way acquisition phase and the utility relocation phase following that. But we are working with the architects and engineers of the Hastings site so that we can try to coordinate things together. And lastly, here on the 15th, last week, we had a meeting with the engineer on Moonshine Road, and we have went through and looked at what our plan was for the construction on that, and got the engineers buy-in on that, on our what we're going to be doing on that. We hope to have that project underway this summer, and right now we are looking at utilities and where they may or may not intersect with what we're planning on doing out there. So, last couple things I want to mention: the 10 Killer Road School project is 10 Killer School Road project, I should say, is getting its second layer of asphalt put on. The contractor's also going through and repairing some fence on that project, and then there's also a new pedestrian light, signal light installed there at the school. If you guys haven't seen that, I'd encourage you to take a look at it if you're out that way. It's really going to be helpful for that school. It's actually going to be a stoplight there that will stop traffic when kids and teachers are crossing between the school and the gymnasium. So it's not online yet, as far as not active yet, but they're still trying to get power ran to that light, but it's going to be a major improvement for that area. The Leach Kenwood Road is the contractor's installing box structures and drainage culverts, followed by an overlay on that project here pretty quick. And then lastly, Mr. Chair, I want to mention the Grace Hudlin Road. We're in right-of-way acquisition phase on that, and we're just almost halfway complete as far as acquisition. We've got 18 out of 40 as of today, so we're working towards that, and then we will begin a utility relocation followed by the construction. So that's my report, and I'll be glad to answer any questions.
You bet. Mr. Walkenstick.
Well, I know we talked about this spring doing Welland Road. Is that still?
I've been in discussions with the commissioner. It's still on his radar. We're still holding money back on that project, and so as soon as it's finished, we'll pay him the final payment on it. So
Okay.
He's still got plans to do it, though.
Good. The other thing is we need a stoplight in front of Woodall School. I know they've been talking to some people at ODOT. There's been a lot of wrecks right there on top of the hill. Do we have any influence at the level to try to get a light there? Or just something that's during probably the morning and probably just in the evenings, or when school's out, the only time it'd be in use. But it's just dangerous there. I don't know. Do we have any? Do you know anybody or any influence, or do I need to get Miss Clickenbeard up here to visit with you guys? How do we get Sequoia's stoplight in?
Sequoia's took a long time to happen. I can tell you that for sure. It just coordination with Oklahoma Department of Transportation. It's going to be their responsibility, just the same as Sequoia was. There's some studies that have to be done on the intersection to make sure it meets warrants, but just constant contact and coordination with ODOT.
You got Sequoia's got one, and then you go down the road, Fort Gibson's got one, but Woodall's in the middle, they don't have one. And so those two schools are safe, but Woodall's the one that's not safe. So I guess what's the first order of business we need to do?
Probably need to meet with that superintendent and find out what they have done to date, and who they've been in contact with, and as far if they haven't been in contact with ODOT, we can certainly try to coordinate that effort. If they have been, and we can send support letters in supporting the cause.
I'll visit with you after this meeting.
Okay, sounds good.
Hey, one thing you could do is have the school board first initiate that.
Okay.
Let them initiate it, then you can do some number counts, and then that's how Sequoia came to be. And it is a process, but with the data that they may already have, it may be quicker than what you think.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Speaker.
will say this, if you can find somebody who has influence with ODOT, let me know. When you go to Oklahoma City and talk to your state senators and so forth, and they run out of the room when you mention ODOT, that tells you who's in charge of things. Anyways, Victoria.
Yes. Michael, this is just more for my curiosity, but this Craig County Road, north-south
4340?
do you have any estimation of when that's really going to happen? I have seen this on here since I became a counselor.
North-south 4340 is, the right-of-way acquisition is nearly complete. And when I say nearly, we had to go back and get some utility easements revised where it's crossing the some Indian restricted properties. And those I think there's 4 utilities that we're having to coordinate with, and 2 of the utilities I think have got back with us, and we're still waiting on the other 2. Once those are done, the right-of-way acquisition will be 100% complete, and then we will be able to start relocating those utilities and getting under construction. So it's
2 years?
I'm sorry.
2 years?
I hope not. No, I hope not. We're really close on those if we can just get these utility issues worked out.
Okay.
So.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
You're welcome, Harley.
Yeah, and I know what Michael goes through on those things. It takes a long time, and they do a good job. They've got a 7-year plan on roads, and sometimes it takes that long to get them on there. Anyway, I had a couple of questions, Michael. Noticed on Whitewater Bridge, the funding come from the tribal or from the transportation bridge funds, and then over on a bridge in Washington County. Was that the same IR funds, or was that, this says Cherokee Nation contributed?
Yeah.
Was that, what kind of money was that?
They're both TTP, or
Okay.
Tribal Transportation Program bridge funds is what
Okay,
they
well,
were.
I just want to make sure.
Yes. Yeah, both of them were.
Well, and the reason it brought to my attention, it says Cherokee Nation contributed, and this other one, it said tribal transportation, so, okay.
Yeah, just a
I just wanna make sure
miswording,
they were
yes.
qualified
Yeah,
to
they were,
get off of that.
no,
Okay.
they weren't. They were both federal bridge funds.
I kind of thought that, I want to make sure.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, sir.
You're welcome. Anyone else? Mr. Britton?
Yeah. Michael, just real quick, we talked about, they found those artifacts. Whatever come of that? Did it halt it or anything?
It's I won't say it's halted it. It's might have slowed it down a little bit, but it hadn't halted it. We have entered into an additional contract with the archaeologists to go out there and do further testing. And I think they met out there on that last week. And I don't know exactly how long they'll be testing it. I've been told about 5 days to a week or so, depending on what they get into. But I don't think it's going to halt the project at all.
It's kind of a catch-22 in it, because you'd be hard-pressed if you took a tractor and a plow
Yeah.
in a lot of areas over there not to find arrowheads
Yes.
and things.
That's what they do.
We want to respect that, of course.
You betcha.
But of course, the roads are important.
Yeah.
I
And
just-
until the final environmental document is complete, we really won't know sure what the impact, but I know that archaeology study is part of that environmental document, an overall environmental document, so could halt it. I'm not going to say it's not or won't, but right now we're proceeding forward.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Anyone else? The stoplights at Sequoia, did we pay for those?
We did pay for those, yes, sir.
Get your checkbook out there.
What did it cost?
I'd have to go back and look, Counselor. I don't recall.
Was that, you think that may have kind of gave ODOT incentive to move forward with it?
I think it gave ODOT quite a bit of incentive to move forward with it. I really do.
I'd like to know what those numbers are.
I can get you some information on it. One of the things we did some major improvements there on the drive leading into Sequoia, as well as some improvements to the state highway. Just when I say improvements, I'm talking about widening, deceleration lanes and things of that nature. So the cost is going to be up there considerably when I give you the cost of that project.
Okay.
I don't know exactly what would be needed there at Woodall, but kind of give you some general ideas. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll get you that information.
All right, sounds good, thank you.
Was that cost from the nation or from the council district road money?
It was all federal. Sequoia High School is all federal. Yes.
Anyone else? Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Anna Knight. Oh. Okay.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Anna Knight and Shay Smith are on travel, and I am Marie Smith, and I'm a supervisor with the Mortgage Assistance Program. So, and I do see one mistake on the Commerce Group report on the page, the first page, and it has to do with the Home Buyers Fair. The tentative date for that has now been pushed to April 21st.
Thank you. Any questions? Yes, sir.
Just a quick question, Mary.
Okay.
On the Section 184 loans, they're eligible to use the $25,000 grant, am I right?
Yes, the $20,000 for the down payment, and yes.
Okay, well, I thought that was right. I want to make sure. Okay, that's it.
Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you, Marie.
Thank you.
Indian Child Welfare. Not here today? Okay. Okay, to old business, discussion and possible action. David Walkenstick.
I'd like to table that
Table.
to next
Okay.
month.
Thank you. And business none pending, any announcements? Next meeting will be Monday, March 13th at 4 p.m.
Actually, that meeting's gonna be,
March 20th.
20th?
Yep.
Thank you. I showed up tonight.
saves your trip.
Yeah, you did.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.